Hi, good evening, early evening. My subscriber, that's right, you, my subscriber. Maureen Sky, Silver Senior Chatty Sky. I'm coming at you, that's right. How y'all doing? I'm good, doing all right, yeah. So, I'm in my back room, obviously, working. I've been working on eBay for a few hours and knowing I need to do a video. And it's always kind of my thing where, okay, what am I going to talk about? But like I always say, there's always something to talk about, right? Well, I think a good topic is kind of those things that irritate us, like pet peeves, or I don't know if they're pet peeves or just plain old things that irritate you. And over the years, or something that's a new thing that irritates you, I don't know. Of course, life changes, so it brings upon it those different challenges, right? Well, let's just talk about that. But one of the things over many years as a young girl, I found very puzzling and still do. However, I learned somewhat how to think about that differently, or how to remedy the emotion for me over the years. But a lot of that was, I'm a very, knowing myself, I'm a very kind person, very, I guess, empathetic, you could say, and very caring. I try to be very honest. I'm a good friend, I think. Somewhat reserved, I don't, not forthcoming, or I wasn't over the years, probably more so in my latter years, with information about myself and that. So not too forthcoming, but like I said, a little more easy on myself with that over the years. But one of the things growing up that I could never understand, because I am this kind person, and as I navigated out in the world of work and the world with people, or even early on in middle school age, let's say high school, and then the world of work, I could never quite understand why someone would want to be rude or mean to me. I mean, I just was beside myself when I found myself in a situation where somebody was being stinky to me and nasty or rude or confrontational, or just plain mean. I could, for no reason, I could not understand that. Like if you met someone, or someone at work came to the counter, it was a very public office, main high school main office, so a lot of people would come in there, and you're going to get your irate parent, all the time. But I mean, I just, I could look at that in one instance and, work related, and say, okay, I've got to handle this, as an employee. But I mean, so, and we learned to do that. There were certain things you could do to get an irate parent to kind of calm and settle down, show them the contract that they signed at the beginning of the year, showing all the rules and guidelines. So why are you coming here and questioning us now when here you signed this on such and such a date? We have a copy of that, the student handbook or things like that. So that's not necessarily what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is that, for instance, just plain rudeness, I'm trying to think of a for instance, but, well, I did have a situation as a middle school age, or maybe grade 9 freshman year, but I'll never forget walking into a class. It was upstairs and it was early morning, so it had to be our homeroom class where you check in. And there was a substitute teacher that day. Okay. And so, in last name beginning with S's, you know, Sullivan and that. So they used to do it alphabetically. So you're in a classroom of like 22 to 27 kids, let's say, and they are checking in for homeroom, and that's where they would take attendance. And so all the kids' last names beginning with, you know, ST or SU or, you know, that kind of thing. SZ, SAU, those kind of things. You're in that room with that many kids with last names beginning with F. So there was a kid sitting to this side of me, the left, and his last name was Stone. Stone. I'll never forget it. And back then, I remember I didn't have much. So for me to have something new to wear was kind of a big deal. And I earned my own money, and I remember I was wearing, it was springtime, and it was muddy out, it had been raining. And I am wearing for the first time a brand new outfit that I paid, you know, my own earned money for. So that was a proud moment. And it was white culottes. And that back then, you know, the mid-60s, early 60s, the culottes. They were cool. They were the style. And it had kind of a texture into the, like, cotton fabric, but real cute little texture to it. So it was all white with, like, a blue little thin belt and blue buttons, little collar, little, like, cap sleeves, and just the cutest little outfit. And I was so happy to be wearing it, I remember. And I'm on time in my seat. And that meant that a couple of my other siblings would have been in that homeroom too, because even though they were a year ahead of me, really, they had to stay back or something. We were all in the same homeroom. So anyway, freshman year, let's say, in homeroom, alphabet, all last name beginning with F. And I'm in my new culottes, white, muddy outside, been raining. This kid, Stone, was a brat, one of those real bully brats, and he could be a stinko kind of kid. You just wanted to him. So you had to watch out for him. Well, this particular day, the teacher had not arrived as yet. Usually the teachers are in the room before the kids, but being a substitute teacher or whatever that day, the regular teacher was out and we get a substitute. So this kid, Stone, decided, with no teacher in the room and only a few kids in the room thus far, he's going to go to town and he is going to be a real poop. And he took his muddy, and he was wearing like work boots, like those combat boots, work boots, the orangey leather shoes with the big thick soles. And like I said, this morning we had just gotten to school, so if he walked or whatever, they were dirty. The bottom of them were dirty. And Mr. Stone decides that he's going to have a little fun with me, and he takes his foot and he onto my side, my hip, with his boot onto my nice white, crisp, new, hard-earned money proud moment, culottes. Well, I was a quiet one, not one to speak up, not one to necessarily fight back, although I'm the youngest of four. If you got me going and in a good situation, I'm going to do something about that. Yeah, I'm not going to just sit there and take that. So he got me boiling immediately, and it takes a lot to get me boiling, but he got my temper up immediately. So I jump up and I'm scrambling with him, calling him every name in the book, a stupid jerk and, you know, lousy person and all this, anything I could think of. And now the teacher comes in the room at the end of our Scrabble, and we sit down, and she wants to know what's going on. So I don't know if she questioned him first, and he told his little story, made up something, because obviously, and then I tell mine, and how I'm sitting here minding my business in a new clean outfit, and he decides to be, you know, the usual person he is, and stuck his dirty shoe boot, the bottom of it, right on my hip, just to be a jerk. And she ends up giving both of us a detention. I was so mad. I'll tell you, I think I served that detention, but I wrote a note, I think, on that one to the vice principal, because I ended up working in the office anyway with those people. But I think I fought that one because I didn't deserve that. You know, I was just trying to protect myself and give him what was, you know, deserving, because he was being a jerk, and I had to go the rest of the day with that stupid dirt stain on my side like that. It's just really, to this day, it still irks me. I wanted to choke him, you know. But anyway, what I'm getting at, my topic is more or less, you know, why would someone want to be rude to somebody else just out of the blue for no reason? And yet we're living in a world right now where that's happening more than ever. You got people that just wake up miserable, and they cannot wait to just push your buttons and make your day miserable too, you know, miserable, you know, needs company kind of thing. And I had the hardest time wearing that. Like, I mean, literally crying about, why would somebody want to be mean to me? I'm not mean to them. It did not make sense. It did not ring in my mind and make sense to me how someone could do that. I certainly don't have that thought in my mind, to walk around and just walk in a room and obviously start being rude to somebody. No. And to this day, I hope, you know, I carry myself in a way that kindness matters, and kindness, you know, is you know, the rule of the day. That rules the day, kindness. And anything else that falls behind that, so be it. But kindness, you know. And so I had the hardest time with that one. But over the years, I had to learn that, you know, there are people like that. They are going to throw their crap out there. They are going to let it fly. They really don't care about you and how you feel about that. And so the deal is how you're going to wear it. How I'm, or you, or anyone who's questioning that is going to wear that today, right? Well, yeah, I had to do some serious work on that one, and really learned that whole thing, that demeanor, that option, that those actions coming from anybody, those people, it's really about them. It's not about me. And, don't react. Don't react, or just, say something that's really gonna push their buttons, but, kill them with kindness kind of thing. Be kind and gentle, and, say something like, I'll pray for you, or something like that, and let it be at that. Something that they can't stand. Although you can, in today's world, even doing that, you could probably get yourself in more trouble, so be careful. But what I'm saying is, really, we have to learn that it's out there. We have to learn that how we're going to deal with it is what's going to conquer that situation overall. Walk away, turn the other cheek kind of thing. Or take the better road, take the better stance on it, that was a hard one. But I got there. I believe I'm in a better place with it, better place so I can handle it. But, to this day, I will still question why somebody would want to, be hurtful or be rude, or just, I don't know. You wonder, what's going on in their lives that really sets the tone for that, And that's it. Some people really have terrible lives, and we don't realize. But I still don't think that gives them an excuse to go around doing that. Maybe they need to seek their own therapy and counseling to learn how to manage that, and we've got plenty of that going around in the world too, where there's plenty of help. Seek guidance, seek help. Talk about it with other people if you just find yourself wanting to be so miserable to others all the time, It's not right. But anyway, and then getting like pet peeves or whatever, and I talk about this in another video I did way back, but you can always bring up the subject and talk about it differently. You can always talk about anything differently, right? So, pet peeves. Well, one of mine is I do not like being in a store, any store, but let's just say a grocery store, a grocery market. And I've got a bunch of groceries, and I'm at the register. It's my turn. I've started to, do my groceries where the cashier has to scan them in, and they're doing that. He or she's doing that. But the person behind me, I've got my little thing to separate my groceries from theirs. Maybe they started putting their stuff on the little panel thing, and that's okay. But when somebody's standing right there breathing down your neck, they can see how much everything's adding up to. They're watching you get your money out of your wallet. I was like, could I have a little privacy here, please? I just find that too overwhelming. It's like, can I have a moment to get my business done, get my money put away, say thank you, get my receipt before, you're shoving your stuff at the cashier when she's not even done with me? Are we in that much of a hurry, folks, a rush up world that we have to do that? My God. And I've been in a couple lines where, you could tell the people, I'm sorry, I'm going to use the word ignorant again, but they were so ignorant that they didn't get it. One girl, she stood right there, right here, and I'm not done. And I usually, if I'm going to go to the grocery store, I'm usually getting 10 or more items. I'm not one of these that just goes in for one or two. Not usually. I usually get a good cart full. So I got to do that, My God. It's crazy. And she was rude back when I think I finally did say something to this one lady, like, you know, could you back up just a little bit, you know, and, oh, she did not move. She wasn't moving. And like, I was the rude person. I was being rude. You know? No, I don't know. Another pet peeve I find is packaging in America, or in any country probably, but packaging. I mean, they do all this so children and young hands can't get into these things. Adults can't get into these things, let alone children. And everything, you need scissors, and you end up hurting your hands trying to cut through some of the plastic and the, you know, the cheese things that are supposed to open up easily and they never do. Or the cereal bags that you can't open the minute you do, it's popping up out at you. I'm telling you, people, I do not care for packaging in this world of ours today. I don't like being rushed through the supermarket and people breathing down my neck. And I find, I have to say this, I have to say it. I find, I'm sorry guys, but I find men are a little more of a fool in the grocery store. Men do not think. Men are not from the old school where they show a lot of politeness. I have to tell you, I've seen it more and more. I watch them and I say to myself, watch this. I bet I'm right. He's not gonna, you know, move or help with anything or nope. And they don't. Nope. I've seen more instances where they could, you know, move a little bit or shift or just see that a woman is struggling with something and offer a little hand. Okay, nothing doing. They don't even see it. I've seen it time and time again. Just saying. This is what I've observed. My opinion, and I have a right to my opinion, right? Anyway, I thought I'd do that, do a video about, you know, I also don't care for the can opener, the hand ones. Matter of fact, I need a new one. Things like that. I just, oh, another thing that drives me insane is, you know, Eddie and I at our chairs, we can have 10 pens lined up, and every time the phone rings and you gotta write something down, and you grab a pen, do you think that pen will work or write for me? No, never. What is the deal? So you're sitting there telling someone, hold on, and you're going through 3 or 4 pens before one of them writes for you. So in the trash they go. Oh my God. Really, folks? I can't stand that. Yeah. No. And I also don't like being in a room with other people and you are you looked forward to the day you're out, say, with a bunch of people, friends, acquaintances, and this was a planned thing, and so, you know, you're there and you want to share something that happened in your life and conversation, not right away, but I mean through conversation, as we all get caught up on our lives and that, and somebody's constantly talking over you and it's all about them. Oh man, that drives me insane too. Yeah, and it's like, you know, small doses with that one, small doses. Yeah. And I hope that I don't do that. I hope that I don't come across that way. And if I do, I would hope that somebody would tell me. Would and yes, that may sound like going back to, well, you just said you don't like people being rude to you. Well, I wouldn't find that rude, if they said something in a kind manner with good intentions, then I don't find that rude or unthoughtful, or falling into that category of being a real horrible person, if I'm making any sense. But yeah, just, I had one lady I used to work for, just a funny type of person, very good at what she did, knowledgeable, and I learned a lot from her. I did, respectfully, I did. However, she would also drive you crazy because she was a little hoity-toity and let you know, high society. And so to let me know I was under her, the underdog, I was her assistant, and we worked in an office together. So from day one, when I came on board, she was my supervisor, more or less, that I answered to. And I know she liked me, and I liked her overall. It's not like I disliked her, but I disliked certain ways about her. And one of them was when it was coffee break time, she would put her coffee cup on the edge of her desk, which was my signal that it's coffee time, and I am to grab her cup, go to the coffee pot, pour her coffee, make it the way she liked, and serve it to her. Well, I did it without question for a few months. And then it really got to me. It did make me feel small, and I felt degraded. And I went and I told our boss, the man that we answered to, both of us. He was our boss. And I told him about it one day. And he just simply said to me, well, that's your problem. Don't do it. Stop doing that. Just stop doing that. You don't have to do anything like that. You're making it a problem because you're doing it. Something to think about. And it's true. I didn't have to be doing that. I could have just from day one saw that cup there, saw her do that, saw her intentions, read them loud and clear, but not do that. But I did, because I was kind and I guess knew my place. I guess that was my place. I was under her. And I really, at the time I started doing it, I just figured it came with the territory, But then I realized, it really irked me. One of those things you take home with you is starting to really irk me. And to the point it was a big deal. And so I went to my boss about it, and it was a simple matter. Just stop doing it. And so I stopped. And she finally did get up and get her own. I don't know if we had a conversation, I don't remember, where I said I'm not doing that anymore. I don't remember on that note, but I know I did stop doing that. Yeah. Funny how we do things. I gotta have a little. Tasted good. Yesterday, I made Southern country fried chicken steak. And how I made it was, I bought 2 really nice chicken boneless breasts. Boneless. Okay. Take them out of the package, wash them off good. Have a clean cutting surface. You know, clean utensils and everything always. And then you have a serrated knife, and you're going to hold the breast kind of upright so you can slice into it some thin slices, like 1/4 inch, you know, like that, and get as many as you can off of that one breast. Okay, so I had 2 breasts, so I did that. Then I took my big hammer mallet, wooden mallet, and I hammered them down just a little bit more, flattened them out. Okay. Then I got 3 pie plates. One has 3 eggs, you know, lightly scrambled with a little bit of milk. Another pan has, a pie plate has flour, just white flour. And another pie plate has breadcrumbs, like panko breadcrumbs, seasoned or whatever. Got to my spice cabinet, and I grabbed like oregano, basil, salt, pepper, thyme, those spices. Pinch of everything in there. Into the egg batter. Or you can put it in the breadcrumbs too. And then I had some green scallion onions, green onions. Cut them up, washed them good, cut them up small. And I put that in the egg batter, and I threw a little more into the crumbs. So now you take your chicken piece, and you start with your flour, then the egg batter, then some more flour, then over to the breadcrumbs. And you've got a pan of vegetable oil with like a 1/2 stick of butter and about this much oil on a medium heat. Medium to high, but not real high heat. And once that butter's melted in there, you know it's pretty well ready for your chicken piece, breaded. Get them in there. Cook them, I don't know, 7 or 8 minutes, I would say, on each side. They're nice and crisp and brown looking, golden brown. Take them out, set them on like paper towel plate with a paper towel on it so it drains a little. Those with some nice gravy. And we had a little bit of baked potatoes, and I had some steamed carrots. What a nice meal that was. Very good, folks. Yep. So think about that one. If a little time goes into it, preparation and time, but you have a nice meal. And we got enough for a second meal. Delicious. Yep. Anyway, so I did my video on pet peeves and I don't know, unpleasant people, ornery people, rude people, entitled people. What else? Yeah. Ignorant people, not so intelligent people. Yeah. Well, the world we live in. My mother used to always say, it takes all kinds to make a world. And boy, was she right on that one, right? And more so every day. Yeah. So, with that, it's time to say goodbye. Gotta go see what Eddie's doing and get some supper for us. This has been fun. I'm hoping in my next few videos that I'll get outside. And I almost did today. It's been nice where you can sit outside and stuff. There's a lot to do out there. And I want to get my outside area looking nicer before I do a video. in the bottle wall area or down on the swing. And I got a lot of places I can sit and chat with you. So the summer months ahead, that'll be fun. And I'll do a lot of that with burning incense and my wind chimes, and it'll be fun. Yeah. And I look forward to that. And new subscribers, thank you. Love your comments. Love it. Just, stay with me, and we always have a little fun here. I talk up a storm, but that's the nature of this beast, right? I gotta talk. I think. So anyway, thank you. No, thank you for joining, and like, share, and most importantly, comment. I do love your comments. And as you know, they tell the algorithm what to do, and they show that engagement that the channels need to grow. So engage with me. Come on in and yeah, let's do this. And if there's something you'd love to see me talk about, throw me a comment with a topic, a subject matter that you'd like, and I'll try to do some research or think about that one and do a video for you, right? We can do that. Okay, go make some of that chicken I just mentioned. It's delicious. And until we meet again, I certainly hope the universe provides and you don't encounter any rudeness, right? Crazy world we live in. Oh well, we gotta somehow navigate through it and come up smiling, and that's my plan. I hope it's yours too. Bye-bye.